Looks like we are streaming, recording. Gotta love the tech. Hello, everyone. Just checking to make sure. I've got the beautiful, let's see, Sacha Sterling. Okay, so it is now if I spotlight. Interesting. Okay, let me spotlight. It's different for when we're streaming. So now let's try it again.
Yeah, I think that's working.
Okay, and I trust if it's not. It's supposed to come through the way that it's supposed to. All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Thank you for being here. I did post the Zoom link in the post just before this, which I can share again in the comments, perhaps when Sacha's maybe giving some teachings and some wisdom. You're more than welcome to tune in live here in the Facebook group, or you can come in on Zoom and we can even have a Q&A. Sacha and I'll let you just say hello first, Sacha. Many of this community knows you very well, but for those who don't know you, if you want to say hello.
Hello, it's such an honor to be here with you, Lindsay, and with your collective. I'm so inspired by the shares and obviously the content you put out and the invitations, but also it's a very, it's palpable, the connectivity in your Facebook group. It's unlike any others I've been in. So I'm so happy to be here today with you.
Yeah, and it's a co-created space and it feels good, right? To just like have the vision. And this is where I feel like I really wanted to have this conversation. And we have kitty medicine in the background, of just like being able to have a vision and to hold a container and to also not feel this pressure of having to carry it all and doing it all and really like being in this reciprocity and giving and receiving. And I know both you and I, it's almost like we're mirroring each other in a lot of our initiations, our reinventions, but also almost switching roles where I'm stepping more into like being in this role, thanks to you, and really helping me as my coach and my colleague and my sister, just holding me in a lot. What I love about you is you really held me and created the space for me to step into my own autonomy of my life's work, of my vision. And I've worked with many coaches, and you're the only one who didn't push me before I was really ready. And this allowed me to really deepen within myself and really deep listen and not make decisions from a rash place, not make decisions from a place of external pressure, not make decisions from a place of inauthenticity. And so I really just wanted to have this honest conversation of what it takes to actually show up in the world in this way, because it's not linear and it's not necessarily easy at the time. And there is a lot of shedding and dismantling that happens in the process. And I really feel that this exposure and having honest conversations about the revolutionary act of like claiming sovereignty and freedom and impact, it takes a commitment. And it really is, I'm not calling it work anymore. I'm calling it exploration. Like it takes continued exploration. So with that, would love to hear what's opening up for you and to just share all of it, share whatever's coming up intuitively in your heart.
Oh my gosh, I think I've shared with you, but my upcoming podcast is exploring all that is sacred. So yes, very much. If you were to tune into Lindsay and my Boxer messages back and forth, it would probably be very entertaining. It's like, oh my gosh, like when you just are in like, when you're like, if you've ever run a race, it's like, when you start to pace with someone and it's like, it's, just feeling met and seen and that the momentum that happens there. So hi there. I know a lot of you here in the group, but if we're meeting for the first time, I'm Sacha Sterling, and I started out as a coach back when I had a newborn and a 2-year-old, and I loved motherhood and also was like, oh my gosh, as a growth-oriented, very capable, driven, multi-passionate woman, probably like you, I really needed something, an outlet for my own exploration, but also to really like get my needs of love, significance, connection, really needed something to pour into. And that's when I heard about the coaching industry. And it was through, a training just like this. My sister shared an email. Back then, we didn't have Zoom. It was on instant teleseminar. And it was an audio recording of two women who were already successful in online coaching, talking about the next era of the women's movement. And that they were, they were at the forefront, those who jumped in the, 90s, late 90s, the first, the 2000s, but they were forecasting this is going to become a huge wave of women who answer the call. And I knew, as someone who identifies as, a visionary leader who chose to be in a female body at this time of history like that, I was like, I'm all in. I don't even care what this is. I had no idea what was going to happen, but I knew, oh my gosh, it checked all of these boxes. So I jumped in and I became an empowerment coach, and I was, started this hobby coaching business once a week during my kids' nap time. I would walk up to the little cafe with my notebook. I didn't even have a laptop at the time. And I would stare at a blank page week after week after week. And this ties back to vision, which you brought up, Lindsay. Hi there. So nice to have you, those of you who are here live. And so if, I've been hearing from some women around, I've lost touch with my vision, or what used to be motivating and important to me isn't, or how do I hook into that fire, that internal fire? Those of you who already are hooked into a vision, I'm so happy for you. And with so much change, when it's personal change or collective change, it's very predictable that our values, our priorities, and our identity are being invited to have an upgrade. Not to minimize anything from the past, it's just there's seasons and cycles to things. So it took creating space, which you also mentioned, having someone, a container to feel the spaciousness to then connect into what the truth is. And so I did that for many weeks. And then all of a sudden I started to hook into a vision, and that vision carried me forward for many, many years. And I thought by 28, I had mastered my life. There's someone coming here. I don't know what that is, Amazon or something. I was making like $2,000 a month as an empowerment coach. I was being put on stage by my mentor. I was her lead coach inside of her empowerment coaching certification. My kids were thriving in like preschool and kindergarten. And, my ex-husband now was running our brick and mortars. And I thought, oh, this is it. But I didn't have any quality female friendships, not really. And I still really questioned my worthiness. I was charging about $25 to $100 an hour for coaching, and I was really the support role everywhere in my life. Even though I was playing at online coaching, I was very much the supporter. I wasn't in that leadership role. So the universe intervened and created a whole lot of breakdown for me to really see what I was made of, to help initiate me into my power. And that's what led me to business coaching. So I've been business coaching for the last 7 years. Once I learned successfully how to go from pretty much zero to a 6-figure launch, selling an information-based product, leveraged, I felt compelled, obligated to turn around and help all the other women who are looking for the keys to that freedom as well. And so that's what I've been doing the last 7 years. And I have really come to that culmination point of mastery. And I'm now getting to explore something else. And so Lindsay, with human design, you helped me to really understand. Plug, if you have not had a human design session with Lindsay, I know that there's a wait list, but get on the wait list because I felt radical permission. It's like, oh, it's just in my nature. I go all in and master, and then I move on. And so I've culminated and created a library of showing women the playbook, exactly how to go from 0 to 6-figure success and beyond in the most simple, feminine way possible. But don't be fooled. There are going to be lots of tests, lots of initiation, and lots of identity transformation that happens. And so I'm just going to wrap with this, and then I'll pass it back to you. Women pursuing their own self-actualization and personal development through entrepreneurship is very much the current edge of women's empowerment. And I'm seeing an epidemic of women beating themselves up, lone wolfing, putting unrealistic pressure on themselves. And so just wanting to, just acknowledge that if you've been working at this for a while and things aren't coming together, it's like, it's okay. This is part of the journey. And that's why we need each other. We need to surround ourselves with other women who have broken through those ceilings or have moved beyond that place on the heroine's business journey, so that we can really renew our belief that yes, this is possible. Yes, this is normal. Yes, it's okay if it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's okay if I get discouraged. And if I keep going with a plan, with support, with sisterhood, it's only a matter of when, not if. And I am a huge believer that all of the women who've come before us are cheering us on. They are cheering us on. We are their prayers answered. So I'll pass it back to you.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, it's absolutely feels like truth in my body. It's like we're healing generations, right? Past, present, and future. So we're healing it for ourselves. And by default, we heal our ancestors, and we're creating a new pathway for what's to come. And it's interesting because what feels really important to share is this is not about Sacha, right? She has an extremely generous offering, which is why, and we'll share that soon, and like this very celebratory act that's really like showcasing this shift in like how Sacha is choosing to show up and to be, and like to end a chapter and to start anew, and to just be in celebration of all of it, and to really like this sacred homecoming, the sacred welcoming, and the lightness that both Sacha and I, right? Like we're both like, what is it? Oh my gosh, what is, like, we're noticing shifts in our energy and our vibration and our aliveness, and our conversations are so nourishing, and we're supporting each other, but we're in our own process. And this is not about somebody doing something for you. Like Sacha will never fully feel what it feels like for your vision, like for your business, how you choose to make money, how you choose to create impact. However, this is the doorway. Like this is the portal. It was the doorway for me to really look at, why am I struggling in my beauty counter business? Why am I hitting a plateau? Why am I feeling burnt out? And it was because that was the end of a chapter of me hiding in the shadows of another brand, of another company, not fully stepping into my brilliance and my magnificence and why I chose to be here. And I say that really humbly because I just feel so grounded in who I am, that this is what I came here to do. And it was so necessary for me to hire a coach. Like I hired Sacha because I was like, oh my gosh, she's got the ticket, and like she's just going to show me what to do, and I'm just going to do it, and there's going to be no initiations, and almost like putting that on Sacha in like a really non-pressury way, like subconsciously just thinking that she was going to do it for me. And what I realized is all that she did, and I believe that's why we're all here, is to like, she has this gift, she has this lived experience, this is one of her like paths, her dharma, to show up and serve while also healing herself, right? It's like healing herself, and by default sharing her lived experience, sharing her wisdom. And that's what I feel I get to do now. And so she's really paved the way in this full permission. And I mean, these coaching calls and these communities with our sisterhood is very transparent. And it showed me that I can be in the middle of my process, and I may not have all the answers, but as long as I'm in my authenticity, the people in my community and my clients and my loved ones will feel it, and they'll continue to be with me on the other side. And they'll continue to be like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. Lindsay doesn't have it all figured out. Sacha doesn't have it all figured out. We never will. This is part of like surrendering to the great mystery. And something just shifts when you have somebody like Sacha who shows you the container, the portal, the vessel to financial freedom, abundance, like really not improving energy and soulfully trusting who you are, while doing the exploration like ourselves. And it took, I've been with Sacha for 2 years now. It feels like forever, and it feels like it just started. And to have like now in this state of like multiple 5-figure contracts coming in month after month, and like seeing the progression and feeling it, while just knowing like I deserve this, and it's because I'm living my truth, and it's because I'm operating from the heart, and I'm not proving anything to anyone. I'm just being myself. And so with that, would love to take it back to you, Sacha. If you have like anything practical for people to just start, and if just to kind of start to open up and explore this, and then share this amazing, generous offering that you are, as that's really what it feels like as an authentic give to the world at this time that's starting soon.
Thank you, Lindsay. Wow. Well, yeah, so many nuggets there. So I took a couple notes of things that are coming through to share. So something that, what I learned when I really went from a hobby coaching business to really being the leader of my business, and knowing, empowering myself with the education, and then applying the education to create a result, which then and then rinsing and repeating, which creates wisdom and confidence. What I saw and learned was that, the skill set of how to make money online or have a business, maybe you host in-person circles, but you want to leverage the internet to fill that circle or retreats. We have a lot of creatives, artists, temple keepers, women's group leaders. And so, but leveraging the power of the internet to fill a local offering or a virtual offering or both, the skill set of how to do it is completely different than what your business is and what your offer is. And it sounds obvious, but after working with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women over the last 11 years, is that we put a lot of pressure on ourselves and mix them together. And that's what creates the self-doubt, the procrastination, the undercharging, and perpetuates that relationship with our coaches and mentors of subconsciously or consciously thinking that they're going to do it for us, putting them on a pedestal, and thinking that there's something wrong with the struggle. So often when I'm checking in with women, I'm like, hey, let's just take a minute back, and let's again separate. You are not your business. Let's ground back into you, the woman, and then let's externalize the business so that risk tolerance can be there and choice can come back. And is this necessary struggle or unnecessary suffering? Really, really, really key distinction to be able to check in and self-guide ourselves into wherever we want to go. So skills is one thing. What you put in the skill set is another. And where I've gotten to is my pure enthusiasm of knowing that so deeply and hoping that everyone gets it. But I see so many people don't get it. And then they're like, find themselves like a martyr to their business, or, people pleasing, or, feel trapped inside of their business, when most women are entering this because they want freedom. And so something I think key to just, yes, empower yourself with the skill set, and then know once you understand the skill set separate from an offer, you have choice, endless freedom and choice to create a business and sell it. Have a business that's really a lifelong passion, have multiple businesses, teach your children this. So this is the most important thing, in my opinion, to have in the information age, to understand, to have someone in a family understand how this works, so that you can plug anyone's genius, brilliance, passion, visions into it. So that's something that I'm a really big stand for. The other piece.
Something real quick, Sacha, that feels important.
Yeah.
I actually was in a women's group yesterday where one of the women just mentioned, like, I don't mix spirituality and money. And I actually did a live yesterday in my group, and I thought it was like just impeccable timing around like those who are in this group, right? There is no separation between like showing up as, to me, spirituality is showing up as the most authentic form of our essence, right? It is our soul in motion. And we are here on this planet, like with material, like, right? We are living on this planet and material goods, right? And things that we desire and things that we deserve, right? And things that feel nourishing and create stability within, right? And allow us to feel safe and allow us to meet our desires. And so it feels so timely that it feels really important to really look at like, are we creating more resistance? Like, are we actually perpetuating a story around scarcity and lack of abundance, or the latter? And so it feels, this is the time to really claim that and to show up as our authentic selves. And right, there's like the mechanism. And I feel that I'm finally in that space of, you've taught me all the strategies. I feel complete in that. Now I have choice of, how do I want to show up with my audience? Like, what feels authentic to me in the form of sharing my gifts and asking for a sale, which is really just asking for, a service for transformation and transmutation and healing. And so I really just wanted to presence this because it feels like we are on the cusp of, if we truly want to claim abundance over scarcity, love over fear, this is it. Like, this is the time to do it. Like, this is the portal to our pure potentiality. So I just felt really important to share that as these themes like continue to keep coming up at this time.
They do. Yeah, no, they do. Now is the time. Life is now. There's a human pattern to think like what is always going to be, but change is the only constant. And so like putting things off or thinking, oh yeah, I'll utilize that when, or this, like, I don't need to go into any examples. We know the world we're in. So it is about claiming it. Something that has been the radical, arrival point through pursuing, I was proving for a long time. I wanted to prove that I was capable. I wanted to prove that I was important. I wanted to prove that I could make $1 million. I wanted to prove that they liked me. I wanted to, and once all of that was done, I was left with, okay, well, right. Looking at, okay, great. So there's a very normal stage on the map of consciousness, which I know Lindsay and I share our love in, where it is about proving, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the group here, I intuitively feel you're over the like bullshit, like you're like your life is for you. Your life is for you. And it's like, how do you want to feel? How do you want to operate your days? How resourced do you want to be? What are the quality of female friendships that you want? How seen will you let yourself be? How much of a celebration can your life actually become? That's what I feel in this group. And being empowered with the knowledge of how to bring more streams of abundance into your life so that you can fund your next dream, and then the dream after that, and the dream after that, and the dream after that. That's what I hear from women all day long. And yes, there are mechanics, and sometimes we get really irritated when we're learning how something works, but I like to compare it to learning how to play the piano. Like at first, it's very much like in the mind. Okay, I need to learn the keys. Okay, I need to practice. At some point, if you keep going with the simple framework that you learn, you'll transcend the medium. And this is where the artistry of it comes. And that's where Lindsay's at. And that's where I'm at. And that's possible for you as well. I'm not going to lie that it's like a straight line. It's not. And it's worth it. I really believe that we're almost at the tipping point where enough women are going to get angry enough. So many women have been, in certifications or working and reworking their website or developing the perfect program for 5 years. And they're like invested in another coach and another coach and another coach. And it's like, nothing's working. We're at an almost palpable boiling point. And it's only when enough women get really angry that change happens. And so you bring it all. I'm not afraid of your anger. I'm not afraid of your joy. I'm not afraid. Bring it all. Lindsay and I were at an event together where, oh no, you weren't at this one. Okay. I was at an event, and it was a plant medicine ceremony. And before we entered, the facilitator said, bring all of your darkness to the light. The light can hold it all. And so if you
I received that.
Yes. So if you are a woman in business or aspire to be a woman in business, and maybe you don't even think of yourself as an entrepreneur, you just crave freedom and beauty and love and want to see how good your life can get, I wanted to invite you into Six Figure Club. This is, as Lindsay said, the culmination of 11 years now as a coach, but 7 years specifically as a business coach. And because I'm not in my people pleasing, I have given myself radical permission to reinvent myself. And I'm in a personal reinvention. I just got divorced. My daughters are 11 and 13, and I feel called to put a bow on as a business coach. I actually don't identify as a coach anymore. That's personally where I'm at because of my own healing relationship with codependence and my own. So it's not to coaches are great. It's my own personal process, and so I'm leading Six Figure Club as a guide, as an empowerment guide. You walk the walk, you walk the journey, but as an empowerment guide, I'm going to be leading my business curriculum for the last time live. And so we'll share a link, it's in the chat. I've put it at a 90% discount because it's really like the energetic is like a grand finale. And so I know we're meeting for the first time, some of us, but for my audience, my email list, which I teach you how to build an email list and why it's so important in the program. I know people have been waiting, like, oh yeah, I'll do it then. And so I want there to be an opportunity for if people have been, putting it off, that they can be guided through this process and be empowered with the plan and have support. So Six Figure Club is literally the best of, kind of like the best of. So, and this is what Lindsay went through. And as you can see, the results speak for themselves, both with her automated sequences for Beauty Counter, for all of her different offerings. What makes this really different is that it's the foundational principles is coming from how good will you let it get? How good will you let yourself feel? So we're an incredibly intuitive, soul-centered, feminine environment, and we're looking to simply tap into the masculine structures and principles to support you really in a holistic way so that you can flow. So I'll leave it there. And if you want to add anything, Lindsay.
Thank you. I did share it in the chat here for those live and did share it in the group because we do have those watching Facebook Live. And I would imagine feel free to even like in the comments, if anyone wants to come off mute here and ask questions in a moment. But I also, what feels important as you're talking about we hear these terms thrown around, masculine and feminine, and really it's just, it's an energy we carry. We literally carry it all, which is why when we can actually surrender and accept the shadow, all facets of self, right? Just like blanket it with a little bit of light, right? Like really just feel it, experience it. And then it's almost like shining the light on the shadow is actually what opens and expands our radiance. It's what allows us to unfurl as our, fully expressed self. And so whether you're like overworking, I was the one overworking, super proving energy, like in my masculine, just perfectionism. I got to learn from Sacha, like how to really, meet that with the receptive, magnetic, feminine, flowing feminine. Or you could be just like this feminine puddle, like just, like free flow with no, schedule and no plan and no strategy. And Sacha brings you back, right? Like this is wholeness. And so it's such simple concepts. Go ahead, Sacha. It's such simple concepts, but this is where it's from knowing. And if you're a client, we have clients on right now, to like capital knowing the felt experience. So if you want to like be in the felt experience of this creation, six figures and beyond, while feeling nourished and resourced and sisterhood and all of that, honestly, this is it. Like the investment is bonkers. Like I am shocked in the most amazing way because you can tell it's a give, it's a celebration, and you're simply just like allowing those who have been waiting and, unsure and unclear to just like receive from you, which is such a gift because this is it. Like, this isn't your identity anymore. You get to share all of your experience with, I should say, it's a synthesized and integrated form of your identity. And now it's just fully like this abundant give, which feels really important to share.
Yeah, totally. And, I was in all feminine. I was completely in my feminine, and I then pendulum swing all the way into my masculine. And so we all have our own journeys, right? It's like, I trust everyone's path. And sometimes it feels harder, or it's like there's a sense of like abandoning our core essence, but sometimes there's a reason to. And I am just so grateful that I trusted. I kept trusting, like, is this true? This is really uncomfortable. Whoa, this is like, right, learning a webinar, how to like go from charging $100 to $8,000 and then to $28,000, and like how to hold people accountable, and, you know, running a team. And so really I do believe that the feminine is those who are growth oriented and visionary are in an initiation into how to claim and integrate their healthy masculine to bring it home into their healthy feminine to support them. And so really, I'm turning a decade of real, very real, sometimes really hard learning into a 3-month container. And that's what mentoring and coaching and apprenticeship is all about. Back in the 1600s, the term coach came to be because it was the children of the royals and the elites who called their tutors coche, as if they were being carried by a horse-drawn carriage to their destination easier and swifter. So that's all this is, right? If you want to get somewhere, you can forge your own trail, or you can go find someone who's done it and just give you the cliff notes. So that's what that is. But part of what I want to share is just do we have like 3 more minutes, Lindsay?
Yeah.
Okay, a magical story. So there's times where we're in flow and where it's hard. And this is the necessary struggle and necessary suffering. Like, both have their place, and it just, no one can take your own experience away from you. Like that first 6-figure sales cycle, you know, where everything was easy, versus that month where I did 200 sales calls and no one bought. And like, you know, all of the different contracts, and that first $500,000 launch, you know, and like all of the being put on stages and having a best-selling book and being alone at the bottom of the shower crying, feeling so embarrassed for being criticized by someone. Like, these are all places where we're coming back into wholeness. Your own business is, like, in my opinion, the perfect ground for like a turbo button, like personal development. So, and then there's a moment where we've transcended the medium and we can use it however we want. So I'm excited because now I'm playing in rounds. I know how to go make $200,000, but now I'm playing in magic fields where I opened a new bank account a few days ago at Prosperity Bank because I just like the name of it. I was like, I just want to go open an account. And a little thought came in yesterday. Wouldn't it be nice to just have $200,000 pop in that account? I'm kidding you not. I'm getting wired transfer $238,000 next week. Unexpectedly. So this is, and why? Because of my vibrational alignment and all of the places I've initiated myself into knowing my value separate from external validation. You know, there's some people who are really mad at me that I'm closing my business as it was because they came to expect it, right? But when we're living our life for us, and that's what is cutting edge. No generation of women before us have had the privilege to play like this. So anyway, I just wanted to share that anecdote because obviously that's not life every single moment of every single day, but it can get very magical. And Lindsay's really playing in those realms, and I'm playing in those realms. And knowing how to resource ourselves it graduates us into sacred union potential with ourselves and with others in the universe and the world. And that's what excites me now.
Yeah, thank you. I have goosebumps. I didn't even know that about them. I'm like, ooh, how fun. And this is what's fun, right? When we're in this vibration, you know, I'm like, thank you, Sacha, for showing me what's possible. Like, now I get to be in that instead of like, you're right. In the past, I used to be in the like, why not me? Like, I want that. I want what she has. And that's all welcome. And it's part of the journey. And that's just like, that was the work. That was the living in that state of exploration. And what I want to close with is Sacha and I, you know, we actually didn't know at the time that my next round of my circle is opening the week of the spring equinox. So is 6-Figure Club. Both are at extremely affordable price points for your investment. Both have payment options. And so some of you that are on here live right now are already existing clients. So this is where you get to choose, like, maybe my work, it's not time for you. It's a beautiful accompaniment because I Sacha actually opened my eyes to a new understanding of the map of consciousness, which is truly welcoming the emotional spectrum. And this is the work of truly embodying it and moving through emotions. And so all of the strategy and the trying things on and all of that, I've learned how to process in my body and how to meet them with love and how to feel and then choose a new vibration. And so this is what it's like to be in collaboration. Like, Sacha, this may be for you. Like, I don't know what is your next step. It may be both. It may be my work. It may be Sacha's work, but it felt very timely that if you're wanting all of it in this beautiful package, you absolutely get to. So it's sachasterling.com. If you're, this is going to be shared in via email. This is in my group. I have my free workshop next week. You'll be hearing all about my work. It's not going away. But this, honestly, like, if I was me at this time, like just starting out or really in this place of like, it would feel really good to just have the support on both levels of like merging self and business and all of it and really welcoming it all. So with that, I feel complete, and I'm so grateful that we get to co-create this in our own realms and together. And if there's any final thoughts, feel free to let me know.
Well, thank you. And I know we were going to try to keep this to 20 minutes. So thank you, Lindsay. I know you have like a spa day after this and like, but this is usually your day, like self-care day. So thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you, those of you who are here, those who are watching the recording or the stream in Facebook. If you are interested and want to just check in and talk, my invitation is to find me on Facebook, friend requested me, and send me a message, and we can go back and forth and just clarify, because I know it was a broad invitation. If you want to know more details, I'm here to answer those questions.
Yes. And soon at some point, I think when I get back from Egypt, I'll be coming into your community to really allow your community, because you haven't even fully experienced the map of consciousness embodiment work. And this is when it gets to be really fun, just really in flow and serving and giving. And so you'll be seeing plenty more of Sacha and I in our evolution and expansion. And I can't wait when your podcast launches. I'll absolutely share that in the group as well. And thank you for being here. I love you so much.
Love you so much.
Bye.